I have the pleasure today of being joined in the studio by Francis Goh. Now, Francis is the Vice President for IBM Z Systems, LinuxONE, and IBM Technical Sales for Asia. Francis, great to see you. Thank you so much for making time to catch up with me.
Thank you very much for having me on the show. I'm delighted to be here, and I really appreciate the opportunity to speak to our audience.
Indeed, we're looking forward to a great conversation. And to that point, for everyone tuned in this show, we're going to be talking about IBM Z Day 2025. We're going to talk about the event, the presentation tracks and topics. We're going to introduce some of the keynote speakers and presenters and a whole bunch more. But before we dive into that, Francis, I wonder if you could just give us a brief overview of what a day in the life of Francis Goh is like in your role as Vice President for IBM Z Systems, LinuxONE, and the IBM Technical Sales for Asia there at IBM, and maybe some insights into sort of, not just what your role entails, but some of the challenges you're helping customers with currently.
Sure. Just to explain, I have responsibility for the Z and LinuxONE business across Asia Pacific. But what I really enjoy about this role is really the opportunity to work with many customers around the APAC region. I would say the best part of my role is really, engaging customers across the region, understanding the different cultures, the different business issues that our customers have, and helping to bring IBM Z technologies to try to solve some of these problems. It definitely helps when, as I travel, I get to enjoy the local food. I'm a foodie. So everywhere I travel, when I meet customers, I also take the opportunities to try the local food. I would say, one of the things that we're seeing with customers is that they really appreciate IBM, applying some of these new technologies to helping them with, I would say, immediate business problems. One of the areas that's of great interest is really around, how we help them modernize with new Z innovations, particularly around AI, right? And we're applying AI, basically for business to help them infuse AI into transactions, but also AI, for IT, right? Applying AI to help them simplify IT operations, to augment skills, to automate, IT operations in a way that makes running IT much easier. So this has been pretty much a big part of, my life. And it's an amazing role, and I love doing it.
It does sound amazing. It's the sort of role that most people would be very envious of, and you work very hard to earn that. And I do love the fact that we're both foodies, like you. Wherever I go, I always eat local. I generally eat street food. Occasionally, I have a bad experience, but generally, it's an amazing experience. And I even do that here in Sydney, hunting around different suburbs and different streets to find all the great mixture we have here. But what an amazing journey you've had, and thanks for all the insights into that. And certainly some of the stuff we're going to talk about a lot more of that detail in a moment. But I wonder if we could now dive into today's topic, which is the IBM Z Day 2025 event, and some of the detail, as we said, around the speakers and so forth, particularly things that attendees can look forward to on the day, because we'd love them to. And again, for our audience, wherever you see this, whether it's on our YouTube channel or it's on social media and digital platforms, wherever you see this, there will be links to not only the IBM Z Day 2025 event, but also IBM's website and all the relevant digital and social platforms, and certainly Francis's professional profile. We can follow them. I wonder if we could dive into IBM Z Day 2025 as far as the event goes, its format, the focus, and the topics. My overview of it, if you like, is IBM has these annual IBM Z Day events. There's another one coming up on November the 12th, 2025, in a few weeks' time. I'd love you to give us a quick overview of the event as such, because I see it as like a one-day enterprise computing virtual conference that anyone and everyone can get something from, where attendees can learn about the latest news and insights from IBM Z and the LinuxONE mainframe platforms. They can also join an amazing lineup of thought leaders. You've got some great presenters there who look at all the latest industry trends and innovation you're spanning across the likes of AI, hybrid cloud, quantum safe security, and much more. Give us a general sense of kind of not just IBM Z Day overall, but certainly I know you've had some events locally for the APAC market as well.
Sure. First of all, IBM Z Day, it's really an opportunity, and it's for us, for IBM to engage our clients, our partners, and our community, to share updates with them about what's going on, in the Z part of the world, be it technology offerings or even some of these programs that benefit our community. And it's a great opportunity for some of our global speakers really subject matter experts in their own right to share insights. And we've tried to make the content consumable and easy for our audience, right? In a sense that we have breakout tracks on various interesting topics, technology updates on Z, skills, AI and AI ops, depending on the preference and interest of the audience, they can choose whichever they want. And I think the best part is it's a free virtual conference, so everybody is welcome to join. And the content, in fact, it's somewhat similar to what we have done as part of our Z Community Day across APAC. We recently went to Malaysia, Philippines, Taiwan, as well as Hong Kong, really to share similar messages. And we had overwhelming feedback really from the attendees. And we hope that IBM Z Day will also be as valuable to our audience. I think one of the important things is to the audience is really about how Z continues to be crucial in really the global economy, but also how much Z has evolved in terms of innovation and roadmap, right? And particularly in some of these domain areas like AI and data, particularly around AI operations, right? Security, modernization, and the very important topic of skills. It's really something that resonates with our audience, right? And particularly, it's not just about our clients, it's also about our solution partners and also the community, the broader community, including academia and other, I would say, new to Z joiners who are interested to find out more. So this is a great occasion for us to get together as a community and exchange ideas.
I love that. That's a great coverage. When I looked at the detail of the event itself, I've already registered, of course. And again, I would like to invite everyone who's tuned in, wherever you see this, to click on the links that you see wherever you see this, whether it's on our YouTube channel or social media. Click on the IBM Z Day 2025 website link, learn more about it, see the tracks as Francis outlined, look at all of the different speakers and so forth. But make sure you register nice and early, get it into your calendar, plan around it, and make sure you've got a nice hot cup of coffee and a pen and pad to make notes. It is going to be one of those must-view, not to miss events, in my opinion. When I looked at the IBM Z Day 2025 tracks, there were 6 in particular and related topics. I thought I would just table for our audience to entice them to register early. And in particular, let me break them out. So when I looked at the topics which our audience can tune into, there was the likes of do more at the core, which you'll learn a lot about on the website with regard to the IBM Z platform, and we'll talk about that in a moment. Get AI value today, which I think is so critical because there's so much pressure on every key decision maker and operational person to do exactly that, not only implement and adopt AI, but actually get some value for the organization, the business units. Getting more from your team, and particularly your IT and yourself. Protecting critical data and workloads, which is a part of the DNA of IBM in my view. Skill up and take your career to new heights. There's actually a range of training opportunities and learning and skills development on the website and the event. And you can actually get a range of badges, which I'll talk about in a moment as well. But one of the things that really jumped out at me, which I want our audience to think about, was the question of, why are Z skills important? And we'll talk about in a moment, particularly in light of the fact that there are a lot of churn happening in the jobs market, jobs sort of being cut down, new jobs being created, career paths changing. And one of the things that I really love about the Z ecosystem, particularly the IBM mainframe Z platform, the Z17 that's just come out, is that everybody I know that's working in that space is a multi-decade career path. When I talk about people who are sort of in other areas, sometimes they're only getting 3 to 5 years out of a career and having to find a new job. So IBM Z ecosystem provides a lifetime opportunity of learning and ability to put your skills to good use. And then there's an innovation showcase around both the IBM Z platform, particularly the IBM Z17 and the LinuxONE ecosystems and solutions. Francis, I wonder if I could break this down into 2 things, just following up on those 6 tracks. The obvious one is why is AI becoming more and more critical for your clients, and now more than ever?
Sure. From our perspective, I think everybody agrees that AI is essential for companies, and I would say that companies who exploit AI, will derive business returns more than companies that don't, and it's really becoming a topic of differentiation. But the way we see the approach is, customers or clients would actually derive greater value and greater return from AI by trying to co-locate AI close to the mission critical transactions as well as their precious data. And that's really because, of course, AI, the basis of AI is really on the data that the customer has. And IBM Z as an environment, is perfect for this, right? It runs the world's critical transactions, right? In fact, 70% of the world's global transactions, payments, right, by value runs through IBM Z. Now, if you combine that really with the precious data of all the business transactions and execute that in a secure environment, it's really, a situation where we can leverage this unique technology on IBM Z, really to derive AI outcomes that no other platform can achieve, right? And basically to help customers with that, IBM has launched our Z17 with Talem 2 processor, which is our IBM own technology that has AI acceleration built into the core, right? And on top of that, we also have our Spire accelerator that actually brings generative AI to the IBM Z platform. So these are some of the wonderful innovations that you'll hear about during IBM Z Day, right? This has profound implications in, situations like credit card fraud, where credit card companies actually have a very, very short window of opportunity in order to score transactions for fraud because of the very stringent service levels for a credit card before it times out. Now, in that split second, if you want to do an AI call off platform and to be able to score every single transaction for fraud, it is actually not possible on other platforms. On IBM Z, you can do it. 100% of credit card transactions could be scored for fraud. Think of how much fraud can be prevented. And those companies who have done this actually have saved millions in just the fraud reduction alone. But this technology can be applied not only in this scenario, but to different industries and to different use cases.
Yeah, it's one of those things where when you think about the IBM Z ecosystem and particularly the IBM Z 17, often when people sort of ask me, just bullet point a couple of things that we should be really thinking about at board level, I said to them, well, number one is high security by default, built into the DNA. Secondly is high performance. Thirdly is high scalability. When you take the security element, when you take the performance element, when you take the scalability element, and you add those together, you end up with a solution where you can sleep at night knowing you're not going to be on the front of the next New York Times story as a result of a data breach or performance outages or some other issue. And more importantly, as you said, not just credit cards, but airplanes in the air or emergency services or just your payroll and taxes, things that you live on. Because as you said, most people don't know that the high percentage of data, the really mission critical data that's out in the world, it lives on your platforms. Now, we've talked about IBM Z and particularly the IBM Z 17. I wonder, with all of that in mind, where does your LinuxONE platform fit into the IBM Z ecosystem? And particularly, why is it such a game changer?
Yeah, great question, Dez. So for the audience who are not familiar with LinuxONE, LinuxONE is actually IBM's enterprise Linux server technology. In fact, it's a Linux platform that combines the best of enterprise computing. Think of all the amazing hardware innovations that's available on the Z platform. And basically, we've combined it really with the power of open source, right? So by bringing these two together, it's really the value proposition of the LinuxONE platform. So it runs, Red Hat, Ubuntu, SUSE, all the major distributions of Linux. So you can actually bring a lot of that innovation that's on open source, really, and combine that with the technology advantages of the Z platform. So that's essentially what LinuxONE is. LinuxONE comes with built-in AI, so the very same AI acceleration as well as generative AI capability that's available on Z17, it's also available on LinuxONE. And one of the things that it does very well, it optimizes IT in terms of TCO and energy savings. In fact, if you compare, running AI on LinuxONE as compared to, let's say, x86 platform with GPUs, LinuxONE actually uses 83% less power. Now,
Wow.
another data point to share is, a customer of ours in India, a state-owned bank, they actually did their own TCO study, and they found that, not only did they save 51% TCO over 5 years when they ran LinuxONE as compared to their x86 platform, but they also were able to optimize their footprint from 42 servers to just one Linux, one server. Now that's an amazing story of sustainability, and think of the impact, real impact that such choices can make for climate change and sustainability overall, right? And of course, there are many security innovations that we have at the hardware level that's available in IBM Z, right? Its cryptographic capability, the fact that it's quantum safe, and the fact that it supports confidential computing with the highest security standards. Bringing that together in LinuxONE, our customers have realized the value of this and actually selected this technology to protect digital assets, right? I think that can be probably a great example of, trying to combine the best of Z with all the security capabilities with the best of open source, right? And digital assets is one great example of it.
I love that. I can immediately hear the ears pricking up for all the CFOs that are tuning in and hopefully register for IBM Z Day 2025 when they hear these numbers, because essentially, what I immediately grabbed is if I'm able to get a 51% TCO saving there, that means for every dollar I'm spending, I'm getting twice the compute. Potentially opportunity, and I can, with the massive focus on sustainability and green compute, 83% less power utilization. That's a no-brainer. Those two things alone, if you don't even think about the security and the scaling, the performance, and all that sort of stuff, those two things alone, from a commercial point of view, are just amazing stats. I love the idea that if I'm going to spend $1 on one platform, it gets me one machine. If I spend the same dollar on another, I get twice as much compute. I'd love to now just briefly talk about some of the keynote speakers. So, for our audience, that, as I said, I want everyone to visit the event website for the IBM Z Day 2025 event, learn about it, look at the speakers, the topics, and so forth, and all of the learning and the badges you can get. But register early, because these are the people you're going to hear from, and they are amazing. The IBM Z ecosystem has put together an amazing and exciting group of keynote speakers and presenters this year, and they include, and they're probably not limited to, but the ones that in particular I want to note, Dr. May East, who's from the United Nations Institute for Training and Research, or UNITAR. We have Tom McPherson, who's the General Manager of the IBM Z and LinuxONE platforms and brands. We've got Meredith Stowell, who's the Vice President of the IBM Z ecosystem. We have Tina Tarquina, who's the Chief Product Officer for IBM Z and LinuxONE, who I know personally and is often referred to as the quote-unquote Queen of Mainframe, and adore her. We have Elpida Zotzatos, and I apologize if I brutalized that spelling of the name, but is an IBM Fellow and a Chief Technology Officer for AI on the IBM Z and LinuxONE platforms. We have Skylar Loomis, who's the General Manager for IBM Z Software. Anne Dames, who's a distinguished engineer at IBM for cryptographic technology development and more. I know, Francis, that you yourself present regularly at both IBM and industry events, and in particular, you recently did a main keynote at your own local APAC region IBM Z Community Day tour. Without giving away too much, what sorts of things should attendees look forward to from presenters such as the ones we just run through, and the likes of yourself, both at IBM Z Day 2025 and so forth on November the 12th and other events? For example, on the topics of, let's say, security or IBM, and particularly in the regards of IBM Z17 and LinuxONE, and across mainframe modernization in general.
Sure. As we went through the community events, right, we found that, some of the topics that really resonated with our customers, topics that actually many customers came up to us with additional questions, were really around AI, right? So the subject where we're talking about how IBM is using generative AI to help our customers with modernizing their application code, right? We're using generative AI to help customers with the very difficult problem of trying to understand, for example, COBOL code that has been written in the past, be able to understand the code dependencies, and even allowing them to refactor that code and optimize the code, right? And make sure that the code is properly documented. All these solve real problems and challenges that our customers have. And we're using generative AI to do that. And so that's a wonderful application of AI technology to increase productivity, but also to do things that currently it's very difficult to do for our developer customers. The other thing that we're doing with AI is really applying agentic AI to help simplify IT operations. So we do have assistant technology that actually helps to look at the customer's environment, is trained on the customer's environment, but also brings about 40 years of IBM's Z experience and knowledge into an agentic AI solution to help customers simplify operations, right? Not only that, we're also bringing to our customers solutions like with security that actually uses AI to look at threat detection. So I know, AI, is a big focus right now, but by, applying AI to specific problems that our customers have, I really believe that these are topics that, our customers will be very interested to hear about. Not only about this, but we're also sharing other topics that's focused on modernization, trying to make sure that the IBM mainframe continues to be agile and connected, in the context of hybrid cloud, but also its ability to share data in various ways so that, other systems can easily interact and consume data from the mainframe. So that's been a big topic of focus for us, and I believe that our audience at IBM Z Day will really appreciate these topics.
Indeed, you've got some amazing topics, you've got some amazing tracks, some fantastic speakers. Now, for our audience as well, and again, we want you to register nice and early. Wherever you see this, you will have links. Click on the links, go see the IBM Z Day 2025 website, have a scroll through it, click on register, jump in early, don't miss out. Make sure it's in your calendar. Because, by the way, for our audience who've tuned in, IBM have introduced 4 new IBM digital badges where attendees are able to learn new skills and in the process earn industry recognized digital badges, which look fantastic on your social profiles and certainly on your resume and CV. Now, just to highlight some of those, the areas that attendees can earn these badges and get extra skills and certification in at IBM Z Day 2025 include AI and data, obviously, security, modernization as a broad topic, obviously to do with IBM Z and all things associated, and a whole range of IBM Z skills. So these alone are reason to not just register early, but get on board on top of all the great topics and things you're going to hear about. Francis, to wrap us up, I wonder, often I get my guests to do what I would sort of refer to as a little bit of crystal ball gazing. And just a warning for our audience, this is not investment and advice. We're certainly going to hold Francis to it. But as a little bit of fun, just to kind of wrap us up, your role obviously affords you a really powerful lens with which you see these new and emerging trends and technology. And I wonder if you could sort of dust off your crystal ball, as it were, and gaze into it and give us a sense of sort of, what do you think is coming over the horizon sort of over the next 12 to 18 months? And in particular, what should CEOs and their teams be discussing in their boardrooms and across the organization to be well placed to take advantage both of what they're going to glean from the IBM Z Day 2025 event on November the 12th, but also the new and emerging business and technology challenges, such as the likes of what AI is now presenting organizations as far as challenges go across all sizes and types of organizations, both in APAC and around the world. But what does your crystal ball sort of tell you that's coming over the horizon?
That's a great question. First things first, I just want to clarify, I don't have a crystal ball, but I would say that with the benefit of my role, being able to speak to many customers, I do hear a lot about what they're thinking or what are their concerns. And I do see that everybody is interested in AI, particularly agentic AI, where I think many customers see that there's great potential with this technology. But as many customers invest in some of this AI technology, it also carries risk in terms of project, success or failure. I guess, my thoughts on this would be really selecting the right technology approach actually will help to increase the odds of success. And, standing, in my position, I do see that there's tremendous value for customers to apply the very simple concept, right? Making sure that you apply AI to where your transactions are, and those are where you derive business value from it, but also where your precious data is, right? That's why I think it's my way of also advising, our audience to tune in to IBM Z Day, because it's important to understand the value of such technologies. When you're able to co-locate AI with mission critical transactions and data, that allows for many possibilities around the application of AI to specific use cases that can bring business return and increase the odds of odds of success for AI projects.
Mm-hmm.
So certainly that's my call to the audience to attend IBM Z Day, and I'm pretty sure that the audience will appreciate the content there.
Absolutely. And we want people to not only register, but turn up on the day, be part of the Q&A conversations, put your questions to the speakers as they're live. I know that we're all very time poor. Often we'll register for an event and think, oh, I'll watch it on demand. And obviously it will be recorded, it will be on demand for all those obvious reasons we're all used to. But I do invite people not just to register early, but also put it in your calendar, grab a hot coffee, a cup of tea, whatever you want, cold beverage, and watch it live. Join the conversation and the Q&A, because that's the opportunity for you to engage live with people like Francis and the other subject matter experts on the day at the event. That's an opportunity you'll never get anywhere else. I love those opportunities to put the questions forward and then have them discuss it either in the Q&A section or at the end or wherever the case may be. It is one of those once-in-a-lifetime chances to talk to a whole room full of amazing people and learn a lot in the process. And if you're into it, get some of those skills and badges. Francis, what an amazing conversation today. I really appreciate your time. It's been so great to learn a lot more about your role overall as Vice President for the IBM Z Systems and the LinuxONE platform, and what you're doing across the IBM Technology Sales across Asia. We will definitely have you back on the show. I've got like 50,000 other questions I'd love to talk about, but I know we're time poor. But thank you so much for making time to catch up with me today. It's been so great to have you on the show. We will definitely have you back. But in the meantime, safe travels, and we'll look forward to seeing you as part of the IBM Z Day 2025 event on November the 12th.